All right, let's get to it. You just mentioned it. We're going to get straight to it, man. A lot to get to on this Friday. We had a good game last night. We tell you what, we had a good Thursday night football game with two teams, some rivals. They have been in the 49ers and should I say it was a home game for them? Because, my gosh, did you hear the crowd? Which always happens if you've ever seen 49ers when they come to town. When the Raiders play here as well, whether it be the Chargers or for some reason they play the Rams as well, it feels like a home game.
They got caught pumping in the crowd noise.
Yeah, true. Trying to oppose that, but ended up being a really good game. We are all witnesses to the Mac Montana.
That's right.
Era, or you could say Mac Jones. Who? Mac Jones. The Mac Jones era is upon us. My gosh, he's now 3-0 after having a really good game. Threw for 300+ yards, couple of touchdowns. Beat down, battered, bruised up, stuck with it, and he looked really good. So there's a lot of conversations coming out of that as they sneak out and get a win. And there's so many different layers of this conversation. We could talk about Sean McVay and the decision he made. We'll get to that in a little bit. But one of the things people are starting to walk around with and think about, and this happens when these types of things happen, you have the backup quarterback have success. Do you Brock Purdy when he's back? Or do you stick with the hot man, the hot hand, and Mac Jones? And that's the conversation starting to slowly go around, matriculate around the sports media world. I'm going to jump in on this one for me. One of the things that I'd always tell people to be wary about is the newness of something. Mac Jones is the newness for the 49ers because obviously Brock Purdy's out and Mac Jones is now 3-0. But the way I would caution things, and I think he's looked great, but I also think this is more of a testament, and I wish Rob Parker was here so I could tell him, to Kyle Shanahan. And even he would admit the system. Whether you're Jimmy G, whether you're Brock P, or whether you're Mac Jones, they've been successful, right? And they've been able to find guys, and you can win games. You can get the NFC Championship games. You can get the Super Bowls. You can be 3-0 so far, Mac Jones. And this system, and this is a credit to Kyle Shanahan, he's able to say, all right, what are we going to do now that I have Mac Jones? Let me cater something. Let me get in his kitchen. Let me cook up something that works with his talent, his skill set. And by the way, what we have around him right now, which is basically nothing. They got a mass unit for receivers, and they're struggling on that end with guys' health. And they said, what we're going to do is we're going to dink and dunk him. We're going to get this thing out in like 1.7 seconds. Get the ball out of his hands. Find Bourne. All of a sudden, I thought it was Jason Bourne. The way he was out there receiving, usually averages around 29 yards a game, ended up with like $150. We're going to find guys, get him open. We're going to use Christian McCaffrey to the point he's probably looking at us like, if you don't get somebody else to do it.
You're about to wake up dead.
He is got to be exhausted. Mind you, we were concerned during the offseason. How's he feel? How is his hamstring? How's his health? And they're like, hey, you playing? Good. Here you go. Catch, receive. We're going to use you a lot, be a decoy, all that. But my point is, Kyle Shanahan is cooking up some stuff right now with Mac Jones, and they're able to find success. But where I think people can get carried away is right now teams are coming into games, and historically they're preparing for Brock Purdy, preparing for George Kittle, preparing for other Ayuk maybe. They're preparing for kind of this team as is. Now they have Mac Jones, and that's a thing that throws you off because, well, not only have I not really seen him with this version of the 49ers, I also don't know what they're going to do because they don't have receivers. So you can't really game plan as well because you don't actually know what you're about to get. And so I would be wary and caution, just hold on before you jump on the Mac Jones train and just say, what we're seeing is the hotness, the newness, because when people didn't know who C.J. Stroud was, he was lighting them up. Now that they know and got a better idea what it is, it gets a little tougher. Bo Nix, he's looked all right, but he didn't look like that next step everybody thought because people start to get the film out on you. So my whole point is Brock Purdy has been a stabilizer for them for the most part. He's not the greatest, which is why I think they paid him perfectly. He's right around where he needs to be paid. They didn't have to go Dak Prescott money. And I think he has a great flow with this offense, great flow from the belief in the team. You heard the team talking about him. We want him there. And Mac Jones, to his credit, it said, I am the backup right now. He's not causing any controversy as much as he can. Obviously, we can do that, sports media. Mm-hmm. But that would be my point is you got something good with Brock Purdy. You got the guy you believe in. You got him at a good rate, all things considered. And it's great that you have a backup that you can utilize because, by all accounts, people get injured in the 49ers jersey. So having that backup is an ultimate thing to have in case for some reason you go on a Nick Foles run. and you have a capable backup, at least you know you have that. But to me, it's a good situation where you got the guy you believe in, you paid him the money, this is your guy moving forward, but you know you have a capable backup in Mac Jones.
Yeah, I'm glad that you said what you did because we have a guy who agrees with you, and his name is Michael McCorkle-Jones. Here's Mac Jones after the game talking about this budding quarterback controversy building in the Bay.
Well, shoot, man, I just come out and I'm having a good game, and it's good. But listen, man, this is Brock Purdy's team. I'm the backup. I'm just trying to help my team win.
You know, they brought me here as a backup, and that's my job.
Close.
And Brock's the starter of this team, and right now he's dealing with something. And for him to go out there last week and play when you know he probably wasn't at full health, like he cares about this team. So I'm just trying to get some wins for him so it helps us down the line.
Again, I'm glad that Mac agrees with you because I don't.
Oh, snap.
We are seeing right now the Brock Purdy 2.0ification of the San Francisco 49ers. Mac Jones, in his first 3 games, leads the NFL in passing yards per game, 301 a game.
Uh-huh.
He's top 10 in passer rating. He's top 10 in QBR. He's top 10 in touchdown interception ratio. He is doing everything that Brock Purdy did 3 years ago. Remember, Brock Purdy exploded on the scene. Mm-hmm. Not his first season when he played only 6 games, I think. The second season when they made a run to the Super Bowl. That year, Brock Purdy tops in the NFL passer rating, yards per attempt, touchdown percentage, up near the top in QBR, 4th in completion percentage, 5th in passing yards, single season franchise yards total, which is incredible when you consider how many great quarterbacks have played for the Niners. And what you saw from Brock Purdy then in 2023, what you're seeing from Mac Jones now in 2025 is, for as much grief as Kyle Shanahan gets on this show specifically, because Rob Parker hates
he wants
Kyle
him fired.
Shanahan
He wants him fired.
with a passion. His system works. It's like Novocaine. You give it time, it's going to be effective. I am going to scheme some dudes open. Whether I have Brandon Ayuk or Deebo Samuel, or if I have Jawan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall, or if I have Kendrick Bourne like last night, I'm going to find a way to get these guys open. And if you are on time and on target, and shout out to Mac Jones last night, average time per snap between snapping the ball and throwing it was just under 2.5 seconds, which would be the fastest in the NFL this side of Aaron Rodgers. When he can play within structure, he's as good as anybody in the NFL. And that's something that people like to poke fun about and joke about and say, well, you're a system quarterback and how great could you possibly be? You can make a lot of money and win a lot of games being a system quarterback. No disrespect to you, but Jared Goff, you could say, is a system guy. Jared Goff doesn't have the livest arm. He's not the most fleet of foot. But if you give him the offense that he knows and understands, and he can scheme it up the right way, he is going to deliver it with the best of them. He's going to put it right on the hands so the guys, Amon-Ra St. Brown, can catch the ball yards after catch. He's going to hit Jahmyr Gibbs coming out of a swing route. He's going to turn a 6-yard pass into a 60-yard pass because he put it where it has to be. And Mac Jones, by playing within himself and not trying to do too much, which is what Brock Purdy has done wrong for the last year and a half. Brock Purdy has said so himself. The fact that all these guys are banged up means he's going to put on the Superman cape and he wants to do too much, and that leads to him having a career worst passer rating this season, having the lowest passing yards per game, yards per completion of his career, because he's trying to do everything outside of structure. He's trying to push the ball down the field. He's trying to, you know what? I don't have all my guys. So instead of just taking his 3-yard pass, and I don't know how good my defense is, I'm going to hold it a tick second longer and try to get it down for a 15-yard pass. And that's not what they need with Kyle Shanahan's offense. Mac Jones is making this a real controversy because he's just playing within the offense. He's not doing too much. He's not trying to be Superman. And here's the biggest reason why I think this could be a real thing were it not for the dollar amount that you mentioned with the extension. Mac Jones, for all of his faults and all of his limitations, was a better NFL quarterback prospect coming out of college than Brock Purdy.
Of course.
There's a reason why he was rumored to go in the top 3. There's a reason why he went in the first round. Is because enough people saw the traits that he does have. He's smart between the ears. He's accurate. He makes quick decisions. That could lead to him having a lot of success in the NFL, and you're seeing it playing out right now. Which is, so again, to sum it all up, this should be a real controversy in San Francisco.
So I'm glad you're married, because if you went on a date and after 3 dates, you'll be singing their praises. I'm glad you out the game.
He's been objectively better than Brock Purdy.
I'm glad you're out the game, because here's the difference. When you are simply just the backup, I don't have to act as though I'm a franchise player. Brock Purdy has to act as a franchise player, has to act as the guy who's trying to get this dubbed, just like the other guys, the Josh Allens and the Lamars and the Jared Goff, the guys who have to put it on their shoulders from time to time, a Baker Mayfield. So Brock Purdy has felt the obligation of a franchise quarterback. When you're the backup and you know, as Mac Jones just said, I'm the backup, it's easy for me to come on. It's the opposite. I don't want to rock the boat. Simply want to do what I'm asked, do what the system is, and here we go. When the team is looking at you and saying guys are injured, guys are hurt, Patrick Mahomes, we don't have receivers this year, I need you to do it. Lamar Jackson, we don't have running backs this year a couple years back. Everybody in our backfield is gone but you. You try to make it happen, and that's the difference. The luxury you have
Jones
as the
didn't
backup.
have those guys either.
No, what I'm saying is the luxury of being a backup is that you can come in and it's almost like I do exactly as I'm asked. When you are the franchise, there is an onus for you to get it done and make something happen, period. Find a way, period. When you're the backup, you don't necessarily have that. Now, I don't believe Mac Jones is to your point, I don't think he was now the Pro Bowl gets crazy, especially now because nobody wants to go.
Don't disrespect Pro Bowler Mac Jones.
They'd be picking 5th string guys to be put. Nobody want to go. Don't nobody want to go. Don't you want to go? Yeah, exactly. Seriously. But my point is, he can very much be a quality quarterback, and I think more than ever, and I know we're up against it, we're seeing resurgence in quarterbacks, right? We're seeing Geno Smith all of a sudden become a pro again. We're seeing Sam Darnold become one. We're seeing, obviously, I just mentioned Baker. Jared Goff a cast off, and all of a sudden now he's one of the better ones. This is the era to do that, so I think he's put himself in a great position that somebody's going to throw him a bag, but I don't think if you're John Lynch down to Kyle Shanahan, you've done too much to find your guy to work out a deal. I think you very much say, we've got our guy.
I got a question for you.
Yes.
Do you think they're already regretting that Brock Purdy contract?
If you look at, to me, the best case scenario, like when I vision this person, I think the NFC Championship game versus the Lions is Brock Purdy's, if you're John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, down 17,
Mm-hmm.
you're totally in the game, you look like you're going to lose. Super Bowl was, within reach, and you're like, oh. And he comes back. And if you recall that game, a lot of that was him running. We didn't even know he could run like that.
Right.
Running, passing, staying in the pocket, getting hit, making plays. And I think when he had a game like that, that shows you I'm willing to do whatever it takes. And again, to your point, you had a great point. He's talked about it. Rob and I have talked about it. Now that he did start to put too much on his shoulder, right? Because and that's human nature. I'm trying to justify I'm worth this money, right? Then you get the money. Now I'm trying to justify that I'm worth the money you gave me. I do think there's an element of that. But I think for me, they realize like that's our guy. And I think he won the locker room. When you hear guys talk about his teammates love Brock Purdy. They'll run through a wall for him. And I just think they got their guy. He's not a world beater. He ain't Patrick Mahomes. He ain't Josh Allen. But he's our guy, and we feel like we can win with him to the tune of a Super Bowl appearance. And to the tune, I think they also know if we can ever just be healthy, you see the way they compete. You got to beat those 49ers.
Right.
Mac Jones, Mike Jones, Roy Jones Jr. They're gonna fight and compete because credit them the way they're built. And I just think they feel we got our guy. And Mac Jones is also a part of our system. We can find guys. Mm-hmm. Thank God we found a great backup because you never know.
Yep. No, I agree with you. And as much as I said it should be a quarterback controversy, you said one thing that I think separates Brock Purdy from Mac Jones, and that's the intangibles.
Mm-hmm.
What he has in spades. Like that's something that you cannot take away from his toughness factor. He's more mobile than you think, but his willingness to stand in there and take those big shots or to run for that extra 3 or 4 yards to extend a drive, like that kind of stuff really matters. And the other thing is, again, as much as I think this is a controversy, I would much rather have to ask my quarterback to reel it back than to say, hey, I need you to take me to another level that I don't know if you can get to.
And that's the thing with Mac Jones.
I think that we've seen with Brock Purdy, he can get to that level, but I think where he's at his best is that sweet spot in the middle. And so occasionally take it up, but most of the time be here. And so I think it's easier to ask him to say, hey, we need you to be more 2023 and less 2024.
Great point. And the sweet spot, I view it as it's my job, John Lynch, to make sure I have guys around him.
Right.
It's my job, Kyle Shanahan, to cook some things up, and then it's his job to do his job. You get what I mean? So it can't just – we have to help him be at his best.
Sure.
And that's why I've always said about the Chiefs. If the Chiefs mess around and finally got some crazy top-tier talent and didn't just go –
Well, they had top-tier talent.
But that's my point. I'm saying, but why does it have to be, well, we had it. We don't never need it again. Like, why can't we just sustain top-tier talent? My goodness. All right. All right, Rob, so they're watching us right now, which means another thing they can do is what?
They can subscribe. All you got to do is hit that button, subscribe to The Odd Couple for some of the best sports talk content in the nation.
Facts, and while you're at it, they can like, they can comment, they can share. Do all that for us. We appreciate it. Just do all that right up in here.